Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. We've got another kit review for you now, and it's now Friday the 5th of January 2024. Yesterday you saw my review of the Lancaster, which I've now put the poster up. You can see it there next to the A20, which seems to be a Hong Kong Models thing now. They put a poster at the bottom of the box, which is nice. I wish Border Model would do the same, because their beautiful artwork is amazing. So this is the 1/32 scale B-17G Flying Fortress Rose of York. This is a limited edition. Apparently it's limited to 500 models, so very rare indeed for a plastic kit. If you didn't see my quick review 2-3 days ago, you won't have seen, this was actually sent to me as a Christmas gift from Hong Kong Models, so thank you very, very much. It was very, very unexpected and very nice of you. Rose of York, just to give you a very brief overview, go and look it up on Google, but if you can't be bothered, I'll give you a very brief overview. It is a lovely, lovely story. You can see here, there is a bottle suspended by a rope from the nose of the aircraft. There's a steel plate mounted to the guns for the bottle to smash against, ready for the aircraft to be christened. And the reason for this steel plate is if they used the aluminium skin of the aircraft, it probably would have dented it. So they used this steel plate. Now this aircraft was flown by an American squadron flying out of the UK, doing runs to Germany and everything, as you can imagine. And they called it Princess Elizabeth. And at the time, in the Second World War, she was 18 years old and she was Princess Elizabeth. And she was known as the Rose of York. She later became our Queen. The ministry and everything got quite funny about it. They didn't want to have the aircraft called Princess Elizabeth in case the Germans captured it or it crashed in Germany or whatever. And they didn't want to give them the chance to have a load of propaganda and stuff, which kind of makes you wonder, why were all the ships named after royal family? You know, Duke of York, Prince of Wales, it's crazy. So I guess ships can't be captured or crash like aircraft can. So it was decided that the aircraft would be called Rose of York, which the Germans probably wouldn't have known. So the Rose of York, the Princess Elizabeth, being the sort of woman that she was, even at 18 years old, she said, I'm going to go and christen that aircraft. I'm going to christen it Rose of York. So she actually came to the base where the Americans were based, and she christened the aircraft. And she had to use a bottle of cider because they couldn't find a bottle of champagne. Now, they were talking about bad luck and everything, and you can see there's a load of B-17s flying over as she did it. They were getting prepared and everything. And yeah, they were talking about bad luck and everything, and that maybe that her christening this aircraft would bring it some good luck. She went and had lunch. All the royal family were there, and James Doolittle was there. He of Doolittle fame and everything, the Doolittle raids. But she wasn't interested in talking to them. She went and spoke to the guys that actually were flying the things, the guys at the business end. So that's the sort of person she was, even at 18 years old. And then she went on to reign for 70 years, wasn't it? Or was it 70 years or 72? 70 years, I think it was. So yeah, what an amazing story. But the plane went on to finish its tour of duty, which was unheard of. And then it nearly completed a next tour of duty. So it did like another, I think it was 48 missions. Don't quote me on that, but this is what I've read off of Google. And on her final mission, she was actually struck by flak and managed to get back over the English Channel and disappeared. And all 9 crew were lost. So even though she was lost, she wasn't lost to German, on German soil. She disappeared, gone forever. So she's somewhere now on the bottom of the English Channel. So that was a lovely, lovely story with a bit of a horrible end, but at least she didn't fall into enemy hands. So basically, it's the B-17G. It has a staggered waist guns, and it has the Stinger tail, so it can be built as an early G, I believe. And it's basically the kit that's been available for, what, about 10, 11 years now. So it is a beautiful model. I've always complained about the accuracy of this thing, but every time I see one built up, yes, it's clearly got a round nose. It should be a flattened nose, but yes, it's clearly got a round nose, and I spot that every time. But if you stand a couple of feet away, it is just a big, really impressive model. And in a minute, I'm going to show you some pictures and of one of these built, done as a bit of lace, and you'll see just how beautiful it is. But I guess that's enough waffle. Let's get to the bench and see what we get inside the box. And I think very soon you'll see Kenneth over at Norwegian Modelling Bench. I think you're going to see him building one of these. This kit is currently available from Hannants with the 10% off. It's not cheap. Even with the 10% off, it's £395. But if you want to go and order yourself one, as I say, it's a limited edition. Apparently there are only going to be 500 made, which is why I'm absolutely gobsmacked that, that Neil has sent me one. And it is a lovely, lovely model, especially when you consider we've got a resin model of the Princess Elizabeth that became our queen in there, and I'll show you that as well. So stay tuned, get a beer, get a coffee, and we'll get over to the bench and I'll show you these pictures. Okay, so here we are at the bench with our big glossy box, and my is a big box as you can see, very reflective as well. So top left corner there we've got the 1/32 scale, 01E044 is the number, and you can see going across the top here we've got Rose of York, and we've got number of parts 662, so that's not too bad. Wingspan is 989 and the length is 707, so it's a bit bigger than your Lancaster. And you can see here it's got this sticker, resin figure included, limited edition. And then coming down the bottom here we've got the B-17 series with the stars and bars, and then going across we've got some grass, and I can't get the box over. There we go, we've got that lovely, I wish I could have one of those in 1/32 scale or even in 1/35, it would probably look okay. I've got the Tamiya one in 1/48. It's the American personnel car. It's such a lovely looking car. So there we go. So let's have a look around the box first of all. So we have here on the side we have some CAD images, and here you can see this is like a cutaway. So you can see all the detail inside. We've got all the oxygen tanks, all of the front detail. If you're the kind of model builder who likes to do interiors of aircraft, this is right up your street because there is nothing missing. It's all there. And I'll show you in a minute some photographs of one being built, and you'll love it. So you can see here we've got all the interior detail. We've got the bomb bay there. We've got the rear gunners compartment there. We've got the mid gunners area with the sorry, that's not. I'm looking at it across here. I should stand up, shouldn't I? And this is the nose area. You can see the machine guns there coming out the side, and the little table there, and for the maps and everything. And then we've got a view on the top, looking at the looking down into the radio room. And then we've got the undercarriage there and everything. Undercarriage in this kit is very strong. Upper turret there, all very, very nice indeed. And then we can flip it over. Zip up magic. God, it's big and heavy. So you can see here we've got, this is version 1. So this is B-17G 55BO, serial number 421025447, 367th Bomber Squadron, 306th Bomber Group, RAF Thurley, UK, 6th of July, 1944. And here she is after the christening, and you can see she's got it's the same serial number, and the only real difference there is she's got the coloured flashes on the fin, and obviously at that point she'd been christened even. And you can see here we have a resin figure of our beautiful princess, and you can say it's a pretty good figure because my camera is picking up on the face and flashing a big square. So there you go, this camera has facial recognition in cooperation with AK. So that's interesting. They've lost the large scale modeler logo. That's interesting. So so there we go. So as I say, big glossy box. What I'd like to do now is show you some photographs that have been sent to me. This is from Les Venus, and he sent me these photographs today, and I've asked him if I can show them, and he said I'd be absolutely chuffed if you did. And he built this about 10 years ago, and you can see in the first shot there we've got a lovely image, very much like the box front here, looking sort of at the belly, and you can see this is bit of lace. So she's a beauty, all done in natural metal. And there's another view there from a distance, looking very, very pretty indeed. Loving those white nacelles and everything. again, straight away my eyes just go straight to the nose and I can see that round nose. But when you look at it from this far away, it's like, does it really matter? I don't think it does. I've really gone to town on one that I've already got and probably needn't have. But it's obviously a B-17. It couldn't be mistaken for anything else, could it? And you can see there's a distant shot of it on the table with some lockers or something in the background. That is probably at a show, actually, judging by that. It looks like a show table, doesn't it? With the lockers like at a sports centre or something. And then here we've got a picture. This is the nose area, and he's got the seats all beautifully painted and the plywood floor and everything. Obviously before he's put any belts or anything in there, and you can see the bomb sight up the front and the bombing computer there on the left, which is really nice. Then we've got a picture of the actual wireless room, and you can see there's the ammo bins to feed the belly turret, and you can see on the side there the ammo bins to feed the waist guns. So very, very nice indeed. And then we've got a view looking down inside the top. The grey plastic in the middle is the top of the bomb bay roof. That's why that's not painted. You can see those massive oxygen bottles down in there, and then at the left hand side you can see they're looking down into the cockpit. And then we've got a view of the cockpit itself, looking down into the instrument panel and everything. Very, very nice indeed. And then we're looking again at that front area with all the plywood and everything. And then we've got more bits and pieces of the interior. And look at this, he's painting on the sprue. Oh no, I'm going to have complaints coming out of my ears. And there's the nose gun, looking very, very nice. So yeah, well done, Les. She's a beauty. And just finally, here's another picture he sent me. He did a B-25 as well. He said that was a gorgeous kit. The B-25, I think, until the A-20 was Hong Kong model's best. But the A-20, I think, is nipped that one, because it's the A-20 is a gorgeous model. If you haven't seen it, I'm building one on the channel. Go take a look. So there we are. So that's the pictures from Les. Let's get on and see what you've got in here that makes up those beautiful photographs. So, because basically it's the same kit. So we'll get the lid off. It's a nice tight fitting lid. We don't have the boxes of old. The Hong Kong models boxes used to have a double internal, but they don't have that anymore. So we've got this typically massive instruction sheet. Now I have been in here and moved stuff around because generally they always put the instruction sheets on the bottom, but I just wanted to have a quick look. So we'll go through those in a minute. But you can see in here we've got, again, this beautiful packaging, because obviously they want to protect the top corner of the fin. Obviously there have been people complaining about damage or whatever, so Hong Kong models have really got their act together. I did the review today of the Lancaster, and I was really surprised to see that some changes had been made to that kit, and really, really happy to see they had. So maybe they've done some changes to this as well. We shall see. Neil certainly didn't mention anything, but you can see on here the beautiful surface detail. It's not raised rivet. It should be raised rivet, but obviously if it was raised rivet, it would be very difficult to deal with seams and stuff, as we all know with the Border Lancaster. So sort of 6 of one, half a dozen the other, really. We've got those massive engine cells there. We've got tail planes, elevators, engines, little sprues like this with little bits of greeblies on. So let's get this box out of the way. It's all beautifully packaged as well. You can see here we've got 3 separate compartments. We've got a sort of box in the middle which is separating everything else, and we've got another poster. There's another poster to go on the wall, so that's good. Got a nose section there, our clear parts here. Once again, the clear parts will be absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at the instructions to see how this thing builds up, and then we'll have a look at some plastic. Same as the Lancaster, we'll do it bag by bag, or a couple of bags at a time, and we'll have a good look, and then I'll try and get it all back in the box. So this is always a good reference to see how it was packed. See you in a minute. Okay, so here we go. There's the front of the instructions. But again, we've got that lovely colour image on there. Very, very nice indeed. We've got plenty of words here about the actual aircraft itself and how it was developed and what it carried and everything compared to the Liberator. Got some caution notes here, and we got our legend there for our instructions. So it looks to be very, very similar to the ordinary B-17G kit, although I think it does have a couple of different clear parts up the front. And also, while we're looking at this, as I said, this kit is £395, which is not the cheapest kit in the world, but if you really want a B-17G and you want something a bit special, which is a limited release, then, you know, it's not that bad. if you do want to get something a bit cheaper, and I'm actually tempted to get one myself, I must be honest, Hanitzer currently do the B-17F for £273. So £273 is a bargain compared to £395. So if you are in the UK, get yourself on over to Hanitzer and get one ordered. It's basically the same kit with obviously the F differences, so it won't have the belly turret there, and there'll be another couple of small changes and stuff. It's got a different nose and that, but it's generally the same looking aircraft. And also, if you don't fancy doing bare metal finish, because most of the G's were bare metal, but pretty much all of the F's were green, so there you go. As I say, I'm tempted to go and order one myself, and I may well do yet. So there we go. So looking in the instructions, we're straight over to the first page. It feels like 2 pages because the paper is such good quality. Typical Hong Kong Models massive instruction book, which is, I think, a bit of a... I wish it was a bit smaller because it makes it a bit more easy to manage when you're actually building the model. But having said that, if you're not building a model on video, then it won't bother you. But I'm trying to get the instructions in and on the bench and not have the camera 7 miles away. So we're starting off with the cockpit floor, so you can get to work on your wood and everything down here, have all the cockpit looking beautiful. You've got all the separate levers on there, so your cockpit's going to look stunning. Building up your seats here, we've got photo etch belts going on. You can get the yellow backrests if you want to get those as aftermarket. This thing, I've got every single piece of Edward photo etch for this model. Every single piece. And I've got the resin wheels, and I've got the resin guns, and I've got the resin engines. I've got everything you could possibly ever want for this model in aftermarket. So, and I've got the masks from ASK, which will be absolutely beautiful, and I think that's about it. So I've also got the gas patch guns that could be used on this, and I've also got the brass barrels from Profi Modeler, and I've got the brass barrels from Master as well. So yeah, I've got a ton, an absolute ton of aftermarket I could throw at this. Fitting the seats, fitting some oxygen tanks underneath the floor there. If you're going to have the hatch open on the bottom, you can see a lot up in there. In reality, there's loads of cables and stuff in there that obviously aren't in the kit, but you could go really to town super detailing it. Fitting all these oxygen tanks in the back half of the fuselage. And then we've got, I think that's a fire extinguisher there, is it? And then we're adding the sides on, so you can see we've got a complete fuselage sort of cell we're building up, rather than just putting it in between 2 plastic halves. And then we've got the... this is one of the wing spars here. This is where the main wing's going to connect. And you've also got a hanger in there, so you can actually hang the model on the wall, and it will actually, you screw the hanger to the wall. It even comes with raw plugs for your wall and screws to put it on the wall, and then this can actually hang on the wall. So it's a nice little display thing there. They never did it again after this one. Then you're adding that bulkhead to the back of the actual cockpit itself, and then we're going to build up some bombs. We've got 10 bombs to make up. We've got the lovely little impeller on the back of there, and then we're going to put the bombs on the bomb racks, fit that centre walkway across, and then fit the bombs onto the racks and everything. Bomb bay roofs going on, rear bomb bay bulkhead going in there. That's going to form the forward bulkhead of the radio room. Got some more bombs going in from the sides here, and then we're adding some radio details there onto the back. And then we're going to put the next bulkhead on, which is going to lead us back into the next room, which is where the belly gunner is. Okay, so we've got that box there. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It's probably a gun mount. And then we've got the instrument panel here going in onto the forward bulkhead. And then we're fitting the window in the side there. We've got the rear, these are the rear tailplane supports. We've got another bulkhead there, and the tail wheel is going to be in there. Fitting the cockpit into the side of the fuselage, fitting an ammo bin in there. So this is saying E or H fabric padding, so it's going to be fabric padding on the sides of the aircraft, so you can make your own fabric padding. I'm guessing that's what they're saying. You've got the machine gun going in there. Sensibly, as you can see, no barrel being added because it's going to be extremely weak. So that's really nice. Got that tailplane support going in. Then we've got the walkway going into the back, which is nice. I think that's a little APU unit there. And then we've got another ammo bin going in there into the other side of the fuselage. Window going in, again, no barrel on the gun. And then we've got the door going on. It's telling us some special notes about that. And then we've got some more guns being built up here. And I'm assuming these are going to be for the tail gun. Yes, they are. So that's all going in the back. And they're bringing the fuselage halves together and closing it all up. and you can see that the top of the fuselage is actually a separate piece, so you can actually have that removable, and it's a really nice touch because I've seen a few do that and it does fit that well. You can't even see the join. Stinger tail going on there, which is going to be sandwiching around the actual gun, and then we've got the rudder going on here, looking like it's not movable. We'll have to have a look at that. Maybe it clips on, I'm not sure, but I think it may actually clip into those pieces there. I don't think you need to glue it in position anyway. And then we've got the upward rear gun there going on its mounting and everything, and then you've got a barrel going on there should you want to add it, or you could leave it till later. Then we've got the top going on here. This is the crown going on the top. Side windows and windscreen. They're going to be beautiful, crystal clear, non-distorting parts, so you're going to see your interior really nicely. Fire extinguisher and some other bits and pieces going onto the forward bulkhead there. That's going to be inside the nose. Building up the nose, as you saw just now in Ivan's build with all his plywood on the floor. A couple of machine guns to go in there. We've got some glazing going in. As I said, there's a difference here in the glazing, so it's telling us to remove that bar and then add some glazing into there. And then we've got the glazing going in the sides, got the little table going in there for the navigator, we've got his lamp. So again, it's all going to be very visible through these lovely crystal clear parts, so worth going to town. And as I say, if you enjoy doing aircraft interiors, this is the kit for you. It's lovely, really, really nice. Got the nose there, and then we've got the nose halves coming together, sandwiching all that lovely detail inside. There are ejector pin marks and stuff in here that you might want to get rid of rather than just leave them. It's well worth getting rid of them because it is also visible and it's also big. So we're working on the upper turret. You can see here this is very unusual. You've got a separate frame for the upper turret, and then you've actually got all the separate pieces going in. So that's going to be quite a little task to do that, but hoping you'll manage it. And then we've got the shields here going over the gun. I believe this is the same upper turret as the A20 has, and it has those shields missing. I've actually spoken to them and asked them if he'll make those. But they would be really nice in photo etch. And then we've got all this mechanism going on here. We've got the footrests, we've got the guns going in there. Where's the actual seat? I'm guessing the seat is in there. So that's that. And then we're going to build up the belly gun, which is a work of art. It's beautiful, this when it's built. I've built one of these. It does look absolutely lovely when it's done. Get all the masking done nicely, get all the painting done. It comes out beautiful. You got that there. That's going to sit into that little piece there, and then you've got it hanging on its frame there, which is going to hang out at the bottom of the aircraft. It's got its own little oxygen supply. Tailplanes going together with the elevators going in behind, doing the same on the other side. And then we're building up the tail wheel, retracted position, extended position. If you're going to have it flying, you're going to need a bloody good stand because this thing weighs a ton. Fuselage halves all together and everything, putting the tailplanes on with the elevators, and then you've got the choice here of fitting the two bomb bay doors closed, or you can fit them open on these hinge rails, and then you've got the actuators there which are going to hold the bomb bay doors open. I would actually be tempted to clip those in if they will stay, put those actuators in and then glue it all together. Nose turret going in. There is a mod required on this. It's a very simple modification, and I will show you when I get around to it. But there's something slightly amiss here, but it may have actually been updated now from the first production kit. Looking at that Lancaster, I wonder if Neil has updated it, because a lot of people moaned about a lot of bits and pieces on this, including me, and Neil may well have changed it. So here we've got the undercarriage, main undercarriage bay going together, so that's like a separate pod, and then that's going to go inside the wing, as you can see there. So you've got undercarriage up, undercarriage down, and all you're fitting is that one leg in there. I'm wondering if you could put that in afterwards actually, rather than have it sticking out, but we shall see. Engine going together here. Engines in this kit are very, very simple. Having said that, you can't really see a lot of them inside the cowlings anyway, but if you do want to go to town, Edward do an engine dress up set with all the leads and everything, but they also do complete resin engines, and they are beautiful. I've done a review of all the different bits and pieces you can get for this. Go back and have a look. If that video's gone or it's not good enough, I'll have to do another one, but I have got literally a ton. It will be an hour-long video to show you all the extras I've got for this. Building up the propellers, which are very nice indeed, separate blades, so you can set your pitch how you want to. So if you want to do an aircraft which is got its blades feathered for the ride home, then you can. And then building up the engines there onto the cowl flaps. Supercharger exhaust going in here under the bottom of the engines. And then we're going to build up some wheels. We've got our main wheels. You can see they've got weight on the tyres. You can get the resin wheels for this. They are a million times better than the kit, but the kit parts are perfectly adequate if you're happy with that. You've got all the lovely detail here with all the brake lines you can see, all moulded in plastic, absolutely gorgeous. They're all going to be flash free. They're all going to be lovely. And you can just see all that beautiful detail. It's just going to really, really pop, because the legs are going to be silver, your pipes are going to be black and everything. It's just going to all look great. And then when you give it a wash and a dry brush, it's all going to stand out. You can see all this lovely detail here going into the wing. We've got the grills going over the front of the intakes there. We've got all the little tiny scoops and everything, tiny little bits and pieces, all going to really add to the detail. We can have the flaps down. I don't see an option to have the flaps up. Now, I've actually built a set of Edward flaps for this, and I've bought another set because I didn't do a very good job of them, but they really do add to it. They are absolutely amazing. And then we're doing all the same again on the other side, and then we're going to add the wings again, just like a Lancaster. Pop them on. You don't need to glue them on. You can if you want to, but you don't need to if you want to keep it, easier for storage. And then we've got this frame here, and this is that mount I was talking about. So you're going to put these legs are going to go into the bomb bay, and then they're going to go up into that bracket, and then you've got these pins actually holding it all together. And then you have this bracket is going to screw to the wall, and you can actually mount your model on there. So I'm not exactly sure how it works. If you actually, maybe someone can tell me in the comments below if they know this model inside out. I'm not exactly sure how you get it on and off. It looks like maybe it's a case of twisting the model and pulling it off, because that block there looks like it has keys on it. Here we've got the decal sheet. So you've got the instrument panel decal sheet there, which you didn't get in the Lancaster, and you've got a fairly simple decal sheet there. I'm not sure if One Man Army does a mass set for this. I'm not sure, but if he doesn't, he may do one day. We shall see. But these duckers are going to be cartograph. I'm sure they're cartograph, so we'll have a look in a minute, and they're going to go down absolutely fine anyway. These lines and everything, you probably want to paint them yourself, but we've got all the decals there for the propellers. We've got all these decals here for the bombs. We've got the Rose of York and the Rose, serial numbers. It's going to be fine. You can use generic masks for these stars and bars. And then here we've got our sprue call out, so you can see all the sprues neatly laid out. I'm not sure if there's been any changes or whatever, but we shall see. And then we've gone over the page, we've got our wings, we've got our little photo etched fret there. We've got 5 lots of bomb frets. This is interesting, got little vinyl shoots for your guns, which is a really nice touch. It's a shame they didn't do that on the A20. And then you've got your bulkheads and everything here. So you can see there's not a hell of a lot to this kit. There's probably not a lot more in there than there is in a 48 scale, parts wise. The detail is obviously there because it's all bigger, but it's not a major difficult build. And that's what I always say with these 32nd scale kits. When you compare the Border Lancaster to the Hong Kong Models Lancaster, yes, the Border is more accurate. Yes, the Border has got a lot more detail in it, but you could not, I'm not going to mention any names, but somebody has actually asked me today via Patreon how I rate the two models, and for an intermediate modeler, and I would not give an intermediate modeler a Border Models Lancaster to build. I think they would get burnt out, they would really struggle, and they would really have to fight with it because the instructions are so bad, and the plastic's a dream to work with, but it has got seam lines and flash and this, that and the other. The Hong Kong models, bang, 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 it's just like a big Airfix model. It'll go together beautifully. So there we go. So you can see there we've got the Princess Elizabeth, and I was right, it was 70 years. So here she is in July 1944. So there's all the colour call outs for her beautiful resin figure. So carrying a little purse there, look. And then here we've got the colour call outs to actually paint the thing itself. So there you go, you can do your natural metal finish to your heart's content. And then we should have here the colour call outs. Here it goes, after August, so that was after she was christened. So I think you would go for that, wouldn't you, just to have the little bit of extra colour on there. But beautiful. And then typical, again, Hong Kong models, they've got their AK Interactive as they got on the side of the box, but they've also got Mr. Hobby and Tamiya colours there as well. That's great, thank you very much. So it's very interesting they've lost this large scale model a bit from there. Maybe we'll have Nigel's modelling bench on the next one, as I said earlier. So yeah, very nice indeed. Right, let's have a look at some plastic, and what we'll do is I'll get one out. Okay, so here's one wing, and as you can see, this is an A2 cutting mat here, not A3, A2. So where my fingers are now are the edges of the cutting mat. So you can see how big this thing is. And this is the upper wing surface, and you can see all your fuel filler ports all moulded on there. All the lovely rivet detail, very, very crisp and fresh, as if the mould was made yesterday. It's really nice. We've got our engines here. Yes, this engine is too high up on the wing, but hey ho. It could do with moving down a bit, but that could be some surgery you want to do or not. Very, very beautiful indeed. And you can see all the rivet detail. We've got our outlets there for the heat to escape from the engine bays. Very, very nice indeed. And there's I think that's a fuel vent there, isn't it? I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments below. You can see on the bottom, we've got all that lovely rivet detail. You've got these accurately shaped scoops here around the front of the wings. All very, very nice. All beautifully done. And then we've got the pockets there for our superchargers to sit in. And that's where our main wheelbase is going to be. And it's nice they've made a complete cassette that goes in there, so you're not going to have to worry about, you know, all seams and everything like in here. So very, very nice indeed. So that's beautiful, and that's big as well. And here, this is the packaging for the fuselage half, and you can see they've got this cardboard on the top which protects the corner of the fin. However, even with that on there, it's got slightly damaged. It is very slightly damaged, but I mean, once that's glued together, we can pull that about. But you can see it's just very slightly damaged because it's been banging about up against the cardboard. But when you consider, you know, this was sent to me via EMS, I think it was, and it ended up with Parcel Force. You know, it's probably done a few soccer matches, and it was in the warehouse system all over Christmas and everything, so no doubt it was getting moved about. So we can see on here, this is the staggered waste conversion. If we get the other fuselage half and lay it next to it, you can see that this side is further back and this side is forward. I was wrong when I said you could make an early one. I think the early ones had the waste guns opposite each other, and obviously what happened is the gunners, because they were right next to each other, they kept banging into each other, so they ended up moving one forward so that they could stand sort of next to each other rather than keep bashing in. But this is a point. Yes, this model was a gift, and it's very, very kind of Hong Kong Models to give me it, but I'm still going to give my honest opinion of the kit, as I always do. But it's a little bit disappointing. You can see here where they've moved that panel, and you can see the old panel there, still there. So that's a little disappointing, but you know, it's not a lot of work to correct it. What I would want to do there, you can see the riveting is in there. It's continued on these lines, but it's a little bit softer. It looks like it's an insert in the tool, and it's just sticking a little bit proud. So maybe it's got something behind it or something. Maybe yours will be okay. But I would tend to just fill that out with some super glue or something, blend it all back in, and then just run a riveting tool around and get that back in. But if you're doing it as natural metal, that's going to have to be polished to perfection. Otherwise it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. The slightest scratch from a piece of sandpaper on, you know, on a natural metal finish is going to look terrible. But you know, I've done this actually on my other one, but the one that I've got that I've converted or completely cut about, I've actually filled that in and moved that window forward, and I'll show you that another day. But yeah, that's my first disappointment, is that there. You can see it. I mean, what you could do is just sand that all back. You could over rivet sort of around here and then just polish that back, and it probably wouldn't even notice. It's hardly anything. The step is nothing. It's probably 3 or 4 thou, but with a bare metal finish, it will stick out like a sore thumb. And the trouble is as well, if you put a wash on there, it'll pick up around there. But just want to show you guys, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, wow, it's amazing, it's absolutely awesome with my hand like that and cover it up. And you've got all the internal ribbing detail there in the fuselage as well, which is very nice indeed. So really good, lovely. Right, let's get those bagged up and get another couple of sprues out. Alrighty then, so here we have Sprue K, and this is the nose section here, obviously. And then we've got parts of the upper turret there. You can see we've got the frame there for the upper turret. Backs of the seats. Not exactly sure what that is there. It looks like it may be part of the turret. And then here we've got the rear floor where the tail wheel is going to go in there. That's where the tail wheel retracts into. We've got the tail there, the table there for the navigator. We've got some computers there. We've got all the different guns here. And this is a bit of a Hong Kong models faux pas. They've got all different breech sizes where they should all be pretty much the same. So that's one to bear in mind. If you're using aftermarket guns, Edouard do a full set of resin guns for this model, and also Gatspatch do some beautiful, beautiful resin guns. So just bear that in mind when you're replacing them. You may have to move some mountings around. We've got rudder pedals there. Got some radio gear here. That is part of the travelling from the rear into the front. That's the inserts, sorry, from the rear into the radio room. This is the inserts for the tailplanes. They go inside the tailplanes to pick up on the pins. And then this is the later style tail there, so the machine guns will go in there. I'm not sure if you're going to get everything so that you could actually use this tail should you want to, if you wanted to do a later B-17. But this one's got the early Stinger. So unless this is the early and the Stinger's the late, I really don't remember now. I might be having a mind dump here, but that is Sprue K, and as you can see, we've got all the interior detail in the nose, but we've got lots of ejector pin marks to get rid of. Believe me, they are worth getting rid of because you can see so much in there. You've got ejector pin marks on the backs of the seats. We have to bear in mind, guys, this kit is over 10 years old, so bear that in mind when you're looking at the ejector pin marks and stuff. You know, the modern HK stuff now, like the A20, it's another world. So this was their second ever kit, and in effect this was their first ever kit, because the first kit was the B-25, and that one was designed and tooled by I can't remember the name of the company. I think it was a Dutch gentleman, and the business all went pear-shaped and everything, and then Hong Kong models grew from that. So there we go. So yeah, very nice indeed. Put that over there out of the way. And then here we have, this is another large sprue. This is Sprue L. You can see we've got our bulkheads here going into the radio room. This is our bomb bay. And you can see we've got the bomb bay there and the bomb bay there. And they're the holes that I think they're the holes that the stand picks up in. And then we've got our floor here for the front area. Do that in plywood. I think that's the bomb sight there. Or is that the bomb sight there? And then we've got the centre walkway going through the bomb bay. This is the floor for the radio room. As you can see, we've got these little wedges on the side, and they fill in the gaps that are left by the wing roots. And we've got that rear bulkhead there where the tail wheel goes. This is what the ball turret is suspended off. Got some oxygen bottles there. And then here's the bomb bay roof. So again, we've got ejector pin marks to fill. I think they're all recessed, so they're all going to need filling, which is unfortunate. But you know, where they can, they've got them underneath where you're not going to see them. But, probably better, actually, if you have to have ejector pin marks on there, it's probably better to have them on this side than on that side, because if they were on that side, you'd be trying to get in between all the gaps. Whereas on this side, it's sort of fairly easy just to sand them all out. And that one there is going to be hidden by something anyway. There's a little table there for the rear gunner. Well, the radio room, sorry, that is, isn't it? That's the radio room. There we go. And then here we've got another sprue. This is our Stinger tail here. So that's very nice. This is Sprue AA. And we've got some seats here. We've got some wheels there for the control columns. Some little fire extinguishers across the bottom of there. Some radio gear, some more radio gear, or batteries or something, whatever it is. Something else there with the little handles on the top. There's a shroud there for a DF loop. And little bits and pieces. There's the table for the navigator that's going into the nose. The parts are spread out all over the sprues, aren't they, rather than being all in groups, which is something that older manufacturers did years ago. So there we go, that's very nice. And then here we have, that's interesting, that's another nose section by the look of it. Is that another nose section? It certainly looks like it, doesn't it? There's the basis for the control columns. Not exactly sure what they are. That looks like a piece of radio equipment to go into the nose. And that looks like the back of, is that the back of the stinger tail? Yes, that's the back of the stinger tail. So it looks like we've got a few bits and pieces left over. But I'm not quite sure. We've got, it's kind of looking like this is the B-17F nose without the gun underneath, whereas this one's the B-17G with the gun. So interesting. And then finally here we've got these two sprues here. They're not identical, but they're mirrors. And this is sprue S, and this one is sprue R, and these are our tail planes with our elevators. So you can see they got the nice ribbing on there, and they got the rivet detail on there. It's nice to see this plastic's got a really lovely finish on it. So just a quick polish, and it's ready for your metal paints. Ready for your nice gloss black and then metal paints, or however you want to do it. You can see there it's very, very nice indeed. Lovely rivet detail, keeping it all looking busy. So there we are. Alright, next sprue here we've got sprue N. There's our rudder. Again, we've got that raised detail on there. That's the back half of the other type of turret. These are our solid plastic ammo chutes, but we've got the vinyl ones now, which we'll see in a minute. We've got the sides of the cockpit there. Oh, that's actually the sides of the bomb bay, sorry. And that looks like the nest for the belly turret. We have something there which I'm not exactly sure what that is. It looks like it's part of the controls for one of the turrets. Got the hinge rails there for the bomb bay doors, and that looks like the walkway through the back. So there's the other bomb bay side. So the rudder's in two halves. Looks like it does have those pins that pick up on the back end of the fuselage. Yeah, very nice indeed. Lovely and crisp detail in here. Again, ejector pin marks all on the back. So this is really nice, this one, because the ejector pin marks are all invisible. They're all hidden away. So that's really cool. You may decide to use these rather than the vinyl ones, because the vinyl ones can be a bit of a swine to paint. So, pays your money, takes your choice. Of course, you could always get the ones from MDC as well. Then here we have, this is our undercarriage base. We've got two sprues here which look to be a mirror of each other. So we've got our main undercarriage bay, we've got our main undercarriage leg, and you can see how thick that is. That's going to be mega strong. That's the belly underneath where the exhaust is going to come through. And then here we've got, this is the internal undercarriage bays again. We've got the bulkheads forward and aft. We've got open cowl flaps there, which is a nice touch. We've got the grooves down either side. You can see the slots in them, which are really nice. We've got some sort of oil tank or something there. Exhaust superchargers. They're very nicely done, aren't they? They're sort of very hollow with all the bolt detail on the outside. They are lovely. And this is obviously retracted and this is extended, I'm guessing. So you can have the wheels up or wheels down, which is a nice touch. Very, very nice. You've got oleos for the legs there, and then we've got all that pipe work. You can see the moulded hydraulic lines for the brakes and everything. That's all going to look absolutely gorgeous. All painted up and weathered and everything. Looks like a light there, I'm thinking. And then here, this is basically the same thing. It's a mirror. It's not the same. It's a mirror for the other side. So there we go. So that is those two. So I'll get these away. So here we've got our bomb sprues. We've got 5 of these. And you can see we've got 2 bombs on each, 2 halves, and then you've got the tails there, which are suitably thin. They look nice enough, don't they? And you've got these beautiful impellers there for the arming. They're very nice indeed. And then we've got our machine gun barrels, and as you can see, all the barrels are a different length to suit the different length breeches. Now, if you want to stick with those breeches, Profi Modeler are no longer around. Unfortunately, the owner passed away last year. But Profi Modeler do a set of brass barrels and they're all the different lengths. Whereas if you get the master barrels, they're all the same length. So if you want to get the Profi Modeler ones and keep the ordinary, you may just want to stick with the plastic ones. It looks like they're slide molded, so they've got some fairly decent cooling jacket detail. But brass barrels, I think for an aircraft this size are a must. And they're when you compare them to the price of the kit, they cost next to nothing. And then here we've got our clear sprue. So again, typical Hong Kong models, beautiful clear parts. As you can see, if I place this on the instructions, you will see there is literally no distortion whatsoever. You can hardly see the parts. They're that crystal clear. Really, really nice. You've got the belly gun there, the ball turret. That's that's looking down into the gunner's area at the back, so you can see you're going to see everything down in there. So people say all this interior detail is a waste of time. It's not. You can see it all. And then there's looking into the nose. That's all nice and clear. You've got the windscreen here. Got the side windows. All looking very, very beautiful indeed. And then all these separate glazed panels for that upper turret, which is a bit strange, but as I say, it was their first kit really. So you've got those lovely clear panels for the sides. You can hardly see them, they're so clear. So you can imagine all that beautiful detail inside. You get some nice resin guns in there with the brass barrels, or indeed the resin barrels. They're going to look absolutely lovely. Something that is nice, if you get the Edward guns, the breeches are lovely, but the barrels are a bit bendy. But if you get the gas patch ones, they're very, very nice indeed, and dead straight because of their beautiful packaging. They're perfect. But, that is gorgeous. Really, really nice. Hong Kong models clear parts always are absolutely awesome. They really do. They must spend hours and hours and hours polishing the molds, which other manufacturers don't do. And then this is the glazing for your rear turret, for your rear gun, should you wish to use the later style. So there we go. Or is that the early style? I can't remember now. I'll have to check my references. I've forgotten everything. It's been 10 years since I worked on one of these. Right, let's get this put away before it gets scratched. Okay, so here we've got a this is our, unfortunately it's come off the sprue, so I think what we'll do is get it out and we'll put it in a little bag separate. But there's our Stinger turret glazing, which as you can see again is, to put my finger in there, you can see it's absolutely crystal clear. You can hardly see it. I don't know how they do it. It's amazing. I'm going to grab a little baggie, and I'm going to, in fact there's a smaller one there. Grab this little bit. I don't like the look of that. That bag looks quite dirty inside. So I'm going to put that in there, just like so. Wrap that around a couple of times, and then it can't get scratched. What I could have done is just taken the sprue out, isn't it? That would have been the same effect. But just don't want to get scratched. That's all. So there's our little turret glazing, and then here, this is an interesting sprue. This is the wall-mounted rack that you put on the wall, and then you've got the centerpiece here. So I'm guessing that's screwed to the wall. So your whole model is going to be hanging on one screw, which they give you, a screw and a wall plug. So if you've got plasterboard walls, you might want to put something a bit more substantial than that in there. Perhaps actually go through into the blockwork behind. But it looks like that goes like that, and then you actually screw that on. So you put your model up and then just onto the... let me know in the comments below if you've got one of these, because I'd love to know how it works. There it is. It's a good old chunky bit of plastic anyway. In fact, I've got one in the other kit. I should build it up and see how it works, shouldn't I? So there you are. How many kits come with a screw and a raw plug, eh? And then here's the top of the fuselage, all looking lovely with all its lovely detail on it. We've got raised detail, we've got recessed detail, rivet detail. Very, very nice indeed. So lovely, lovely, lovely. You got all the detail in there. Well, you're not going to see that up in there because that's up above the bomb bay, but I think it's all for stiffness really. As I say, I've seen these built with that loose and you cannot see the join. You can see it has a very, very thin edge. It's not like a butted up edge. It's really nice. Fits beautifully. So yeah, really lovely. And then here we have, I'm not going to bother getting these out, we have the flaps and the rear door. And as you can see on the flaps, we've got ejector pin marks to deal with, both raised and recessed. But if you're going to have your flaps lowered, I would seriously recommend the Edward set because it's lovely. And then here we have our ailerons, and they're in halves. So obviously they've got that nice ribbing on them again, but not much to see there. And then here we have our vinyl troughs for the guns, chutes for the guns. I don't open this bag because I've known vinyl before. On a Tamiya kit, I let the vinyl touch the plastic in the kit and left it in the box in the stash, and the vinyl actually ate its way into the plastic. So I'm not going to open this bag, but you can see it's all flexible, so you can actually twist them around and put them where you want them. The trouble is with this, it's painting it. I'm not sure how you would paint it, but cross that bridge when you come to it, as it were. So I'm going to get all this put away, and then I'm going to get the box turned around so I can get into the other side, because it's so far I can't reach the other end of the box. Okay, quick break there. So here we've got Sprue CC, and here we've got another upper turret. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. We've obviously got a lot of parts. I've just looked in the instructions, and that Sprue with the second front floor on it, I can't even see in the instructions, so maybe it's not supposed to be in here. But there we have the upper turret, and that's the upper turret base. We've got the bags there for the shells, and this looks like it's all the upper turret parts. We've got a base there for a seat, but we don't have the seat. Is that ammo bins there? I'm not sure. There's lots of very interesting little parts on there with all sorts of details and ejector pin marks and all sorts. Got some shrouds there for some gun barrels as well. See those there. So I say once again, the same as the Lancaster, this is incredible. You know, when you think this kit is 10 years old and you compare it to some modern stuff today, it's got no flash, the seam lines are minimal, it's crisp, there's no short shots, not a single part is broken off the sprue. I mean, the nose clear part is almost off the sprue, but that's normal for clear parts. But it's beautiful. It really is a beautifully made, beautifully molded kit. I mean, all the rivet detail is still sharp. It's really, really nice. I mean, look at the detail on that. That is gorgeous, isn't it? Not sure what that is. Is that part of the upper turret or something? I'm not sure. But looks like it might be the part of the upper turret. We've got bomb racks here. We're in the bomb bay. Again, we've got ejector pin marks on the front, which is unfortunate. We've got ejector pin marks in our bomb doors, which is unfortunate. We've got the front crew entrance there, which not only has external rivet detail, but it has also all the detail on the inside as well, which is lovely. Nice to see that. You don't often see that on kits. And then we've got the rear bulkhead there with all the radio equipment and everything in. And there's the two bulkheads there at the back. These go around where the tail wheel goes, and then those pins will support the horizontal stabilizers. We've got our seat frames there. It's all over the place, isn't it, this? Yeah, you're going to be hunting through sprues, hunting high and low, as Aha said. And then here we've got there's those major strong spars for the wings to clip onto. And then we've got our forward bulkhead here. This is the back of the instrument panel, and then this is where the instrument panel goes in. You can see here this is round. That should be flattened off, but you know, I think you can do a little bit of a modification to flatten it off. Not too. I've gone crazy with mine. It's almost breaking parts here if I'm not careful. And then that looks like footrest for one of the turrets. This is the interior sidewalls of the cockpit, so you can put some padding and stuff on there. There's the cockpit floor, which is very nice. I seem to remember there's a bit of an issue. The seats are a bit far back, but I think they pulled the seats back to get out. So I'm guessing having the seats too far back while it's parked on the ground is probably accurate. So who knows? There's the tail wheel there, again looking nice and strong. But very nice indeed. And there's the actual tail wheel itself. No tyre lettering, but it's got the bulge tyre. I've actually got the Edward wheels for this. I'm not sure if you get a tail wheel in there. We'll have to get all that out and have a look, won't we? But yeah, on the whole, a DF loop there. That's the second one of those we've seen, isn't it? So yeah, detail there on these little, what look like little compressors or something. Very nice indeed. And that's the front of the instrument panel. So that's fairly plain, but you can get loads of aftermarket, you know, sort of instrument panels for it. So fill your boots. And there's the where's all the throttle levers go in there. And there's some throttle levers there, and there's some levers there as well. Look. So all in all, very, very nice. So I'll get these put away, and then we'll get back in. Okay, so here you can see I've got two of these Sprue J's here. And they're identical. Okay, so we're going to end up with 4 wheels because we've got another 2 Sprue J's here. So we've got 4 of those Sprue J's. So everything you're seeing on this sprue, you're going to get 4 of. So we've got, didn't we see some cowl flaps earlier? So we've got some more cowl flaps here. We've got tyres. We've got an engine. There's an engine backing, is it? Not exactly sure what that is. We've got our push rods there. We've got wheels. The wheels look very nice for out of the box wheels. More gum breeches at different sizes. That's the centres of our superchargers. We've got the rocker covers there for the engine. We've got the cowl seats. I think they are actually pilot seats. We've got the centre reduction gears. This is something that a lot of manufacturers should do. You see these? Look at these rods they've put on the plastic sprue to protect it all from. Because like if that was any other manufacturer, it'd all get twisted off and then bits would get broken off and everything. And but they've protected it. They've done it with the clear sprue as well. It's got legs all over it to protect the clear parts. It's very, very thoughtfully manufactured. Yes, it's got inaccuracies, but as a plastic model kit, it's very, very nice. And as I said earlier, if you want to buy a B-17, a big B-17 for a family member or friend, and they've built a few kits, there's no reason why they couldn't tackle this. Yes, it's big. Yes, there's a fairly high-ish part count compared to some models, but it's nothing like as complex as the Border model Lancaster, or it's not. This isn't even as complex as the HK models Lancaster. It looks like a fairly simple build, to be honest. So, and I'm very, very tempted to build this out of the box and let you guys see how it looks, because we've got more control columns here. This kit has got spare parts coming out of its ears. We've got nice centre hub detail on there, which is nice to see. The Hobby Boss B24, which was set beautifully alongside this, is very, very weak in that area. The prop blades are too short, they're the wrong shape, and the hubs are like toys. But these are really, really nice. But I'm looking, I can't believe we saw some cowl flaps earlier, didn't we? On another sprue. I'm just looking now. Yes, we have cowl flaps on another sprue. So we've got a spare set of cowl flaps as well. I don't know why that is, but we shall see. So there we go. But not exactly sure what that is there. Is that part of the mounting for hanging it on the wall, perhaps? Because you're going to get 4 of them. But it's nice you're going to get spare wheels. It's nice for a diorama setup if you want to put some spare wheels on the back of a truck or something. But yeah, very, very nice indeed. So that's that. There's only one bit you haven't seen. And that's this here. And I haven't opened this yet. So this is our Resin Princess figure, and it's beautifully taped up, so I don't really want to open it. But we can see here we have our beautiful princess, and she is beautifully cast. There's a let's have a look at it. Let's see if I can peel the tape without. This is something I'm very sad about, really, because it's limited edition. I don't want to disturb it, you know what I mean? A pair of tweezers under there. See if I can pull this tape off without damaging it. Because we've got to have a look, haven't we? There we go. Right, Oh, and she's in a sealed bag. And nope, it's a Ziploc bag. That's good. I thought it was sealed. Okay, let's have a look at our princess. So here she is. She's armless and one-handed, no-handed. So you can see she's beautiful smiling face. And she's carrying her little purse there. Edge of the coat or dress, whatever. I think that's a dress, isn't it? Very, very crisp and sharp. Lovely detail on those shoes. Beautiful, beautiful detail. You can see the purse there at the back, and then there's her lovely hair there all flowing, and then she's got a separate hat to go on her head. I'm guessing it's going to go that way round. Yes, so you see she's got her hat on there. Very nice indeed. It's probably the wrong way round, isn't it? It's that way surely. Whoopsie daisy. And then we've got an arm to go on the side here. And then we've got her hands. Here we've got both her hands holding the bouquet. So she's going to have one hand in there like that, and then the other hand in there like that. So yeah, that bouquet is exquisite. Look at that. Gorgeous. I don't paint figures, so this will probably never get done, but I've now got this one, and I've got the Queen that came with the Gecko models ambulance. So yeah, look at that. Oh, you can't see it, but the camera is picking up on her face. Let's put a big square around her face. Facial recognition. Her hair is gorgeous as well. Really, really nice. Beautiful, beautiful resin figure. So and beautifully packaged as well, rather than just chucked in a soft cardboard box like some other people do. That is really, really nice. So put that up. I don't want to damage those flowers. So that can go in there and get sealed up, probably never to be opened again. There we go. And then that can go in its bag. So all in all, absolutely gorgeous. Right, so let's have a look at the bag of bits. So we have, what have I done with that? We have the poster. Here is the poster. And again, beautiful, you know, you haven't got the Hong Kong models down there, you've got it up here. But it really is very, very nice. And it's done by Prater Forkasevich. So very nice indeed. Interesting actually, in the real life there's a photograph of the real event, and there's lots of hundreds of people all stood around on the base waiting to see their beautiful princess. So that's going to be going on my wall for sure. Very, very nice. There they are. I wonder what I've done with this pack. Here's the pack, the normal Hong Kong models pack of decals and photo etch and whatever else they want to put in there. Where is the, here we go. See as well, this is something else I love, sensibly packaged so that the sticky tape, when you pull the decal out, the sticky tape is on the back. So many people put them in the other way round, and then when you pull them out you risk catching the decals. So there we go. So there's our decal sheet, printed by Cartograph. It doesn't say made in Italy, but I'm sure they are. And as you can see, nice and glossy, which means they're going to go down really, really well. We've got the Rose of York there. We've got the rose there printed. We've got here, there's the spec of the aircraft. Then we've got our bomb decals, our propeller decals, instrument panel. You're going to replace that, I think, anyway. And then we've got our tail flashes, F serial number, and our stars and bars. So, and then we've got these here, which you would probably paint. But as I say, I'm not sure if Sven does a mass set for this. I'll have to have a look. And then here we have our little photo etch fret. If I can get it out. Open this bag again. So we'll get this zipped out. This again is protected with the plastic, so we've got those grills going over those intakes on the wings, and then we've got some harnesses, and that's it. So you want to use aftermarket harnesses on this. Well, you might want to just build it out of the box and use them. They'll be absolutely fine. Give them an anneal, bend them about, get them a bit of a, you know, give them a bit of a wrinkle in, and I'll be absolutely fine. But take those grills off before you anneal the belts, because if you get any heat on them, they may well just disintegrate because they're so fine. So you have been warned. So there we go. We'll get these decals put away. I'll do that afterwards. So I'm going to put those to one side. And that has been a review of this beautiful B-17G Flying Fortress late production, and with our lovely princess / queen in there as well. So very, very nice indeed. I'm beginning to convince myself that the stinger tail is later and the other tail is early. I was thinking it was the other way around for some reason, but I could be wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. There she is. Look at that. That's lovely, isn't it? Lovely. Right, they're telling you to buy the AK set flesh and skin colours. Wow. But maybe I'll send that to somebody to paint and see how it comes out. Anyway, or maybe I'll just put it all in a box and keep it, because it's limited to 500, and in 2 years' time it'll be worth £1 million. We shall see. But I want to say a massive thank you to Neil from HK Models for sending me this. It was a very, very nice surprise, a lovely Christmas present, and I very much look forward to either building this one or buying another one and building that. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful model. So thank you for watching, and if you want to see anything about all the aftermarket I've got, then please drop a comment below. As I say, I have got tons of stuff for this, but I'm sure I've done a video on it before. So if I haven't, then I'll do it again. If I have, then I'll just refer you to that video. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.